Hello, great people. My name is Mad Mike. Some might call me the Mad Scientist. Some may call me the angriest motherfucker that ever lived on the planet Earth. Some people think that I'm not even from the planet Earth. Some people think I'm from Mars. Some people think I'm from the land of fuck you. I just want to get something off of my chest. And quite frankly, this is something that continues to annoy the living hell out of me. So before I get to the issue at hand, I would like to say to all the people, all the great people of Falcons land, all the great people of the NFL, all the great people of just YouTube, hide your kids, tuck them away, put some earphones on them, put them in front of the TV, watch it, let them watch Barney or, Coco Melon and all those good old things. You know what I'm saying? Because I got some shit to say. And ironically, this loud ass fucking... Alright. So, the problem that I have, alright? The problem that I have, great people, is these headlines. And these headlines are coming from someone and a team of people that we all kind of familiar with. I'll say that. We're familiar with the person. He interviews the Atlanta Falcons. He asks a lot of questions. He's a reporter by the name of D. Orlando Ledbetter. Yeah, D. Orlando Ledbetter. And it's a problem for me because people who have major platforms, and again, this is supposed to be journalistic integrity, but not all journalists have integrity. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, what about these headlines? Why are you so pissed off because of these headlines? Well, if you look at the title of this particular video, you would see that it says Arthur Smith believes in his players. So again, Matt Mike, why would you be upset about this? Right? And Marcos, you can go to hell with that keep pounding shit. You ain't pounding nothing but 0-3. Okay, so get out of here with that bullshit. But Arthur Smith loved his players, and like I said, the reason why this is really upset, this is really kind of pissing me off, is because there's a narrative when it comes down to the Atlanta Falcons. There's a narrative when it comes down to the fan base. Everybody feels as though that we have to live or have to have the same bullshit emotions, takes, and feelings that you have for this Atlanta Falcons team. And this, if you saw the post game, these facial expressions were far from the truth. Arthur Smith wasn't fucking sad. He wasn't upset. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't damn near crying. Marcus Mariota wasn't damn near crying. Marcus Mariota wasn't in his feelings about that particular game. And these articles do that. They go out of their way to paint the picture of this Atlanta Falcons team as though everybody's upset, everybody's about to cry, it's all doomsday, it's all negative, and everybody wants to, leave and do all this negative stuff. These articles do this shit. These guys are smiling. Why? Because they know that it is a process. These guys know that the things that they're doing for this year is for the greater good. And articles like this, when you paint pictures of Arthur Smith with this type of face, with Marcus Mariota with this type of face, it pisses me off because this is what Falcons fans see. With these journalists, they're painting a picture that everything is fucking doom and gloom. And I have a problem with that. I have a major problem with that. Because this is not what Arthur Smith is painting the picture of. He believes in Marcus Mariota. He believes in Cordero Patterson. He believes in all of his players. And then you have guys like D. Orlando Ledbetter that go out of the way to make shit like this. To put articles like this. It's a major problem. It's a major concern. So Falcons fans, it's getting to a point where is it Falcons fans versus the media? Falcons fans versus the media. Why does everything have to be so damn bad because you don't believe in shit? Why do Falcons fans have to feel the same way that the media does? Y'all never believed in the Falcons. You never believed in the Falcons when they were winning. 2-16. You guys weren't making articles saying the Falcons could go to the Super Bowl. You were saying the same things over and over and over again. Well, here we go again. The Falcons are right back where they were. The Falcons are in a position where guess what? They were just going to lose again. That's the general consistency. That is the narrative you guys continue to paint over and over and over again. Time and time again, year after year, we have to see this same crap over and over again for the media. Painting a bad picture of Marcus Mariota. Painting a picture of there's a quarterback controversy. That Arthur just doesn't truly believe in Desmond Ridder, and that's why he's playing Marcus Mariota. And that he's going to ultimately draft another quarterback, and that quarterback is going to be Bryce Stroud. And for y'all who don't know who Bryce Stroud is, all right, it's Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. Okay, yeah. That the Falcons should just abandon all hope and just draft quarterbacks. Now, the general consensus is that now the Falcons want who? Will Levis. The Falcons should draft Will Levis. Who the fuck is Will Levis? The Falcons should draft Will Levis? Are you serious, people? That Drake London is an absolute bust because he doesn't have 100 catches and 10 touchdowns. Even though he's ranked 1 and 2 when it comes down to the young wide receiver, the rookie wide receiver class. He's 1 and 2. He and George Pickens are going back and forth. Both of those guys are going back and forth, being number 1, being 2, when it comes down to catches, receptions, drops. Drake London has dropped 1 pass all year as a rookie. And he's painting him, again, we're painting a picture that we shouldn't have drafted Drake London. Now, Drake London, where he wants to be, of course he's not. But he knows as a rookie that he got a ways to go. Drake London knows he has a ways to go. Drake London knows that guess what? The things are not going to be as good as it is as they want to be right now. The Falcons have $80 million in salary cap and dead cap money. $80 million in dead cap money. Yet, you don't hear reporters talking about that type of stuff. You don't hear the great people of the AJC reporting shit like that. They report the most negative things that they can find so they can sell views. so they can sell their little their podcast. That make the most negative headlines possible. But when you see things like Michael Walker playing good, you don't hear them talk about that. They don't put those in their shows. Tyler Algier going up the ranks as far as rookie running backs in Falcons franchise history. Nobody's talking about that. Go look at it. Go look at the rookie record for rushing yards, and Tyler Algier is close. He can. I doubt that he break the record, but he can move up the ranks at least to what? Fourth or fifth when it comes down to all-time rushing yards. Nobody fucking talking about that. Nobody's talking about the fact that Caleb Huntley is a running back that got cut several times by the Atlanta Falcons, and he found his way, guess what, on the team making plays. He's a strong, intricate part of what this running offense and what this offense is all about. He's a vital part of it. But no, I would much rather talk about how the Atlanta Falcons are losing and they find a way to lose. That's the shit that really pisses me off when it comes down to these reporters. Nobody wants to focus on the good shit. Everybody want to talk about all the good shit that Tom Brady and all those guys do. Oh, Tom Brady brought another record. Oh, Matt Ryan brought another record. Oh, here we go. Kyler Murray got another $50 million. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about everybody good things. Let's talk about everything else the NFL and all the players in the NFL do. But when it comes down to the Atlanta Falcons, none of these damn reporters want to talk about the good shit that's going on. Nobody want to talk about the improvement that we've seen and the Falcons running, not the running back, but the offensive lines. Nobody want to talk about the improvement of Caleb McGarry. Everybody want to pretend as though it's not happening. But let him fuck up, let him give up 2 sacks in a game, and that shit is all going viral on Twitter and viral on YouTube. And we have these fucking creators, the Atlanta Falcons fucking creators, that love to highlight that shit. And I'm calling out every last one of them. How about let's talk about the positive things that these guys are doing. How Caleb McGarry has turned his career around and looking to become a what? Close to a Pro Bowler. After everybody said he was a bust. Nobody wants to talk about that. And this is the shit that really pisses me off. Nobody wants to focus on. Nobody wants to focus on it. Let's talk about all the shit that goes wrong. Yeah. D. Orlando Ledbetter. How about you write an article again about how Chris Lindstrom, for what, the second or third time this year, this guy has been the top ranked offensive lineman? How about we talk about that shit? How about we talk about the shit that's going well? Excuse me, the stuff. But because some of you people are probably in your feelings because, oh, Mike used the word shit. It's a freaking problem, people. You look at the content creators. Look at it. You don't have to take my word for it. Everything is doom and gloom, playing with you guys' emotions. And you click because guess what? Yeah, man, the Falcons really do suck. And you click their article, you click their videos, and you go in and say, yeah, you're right. Michael Walker is trash. Guess what? Yeah. Marcus Mariota is fucking sorry. But guess what? Where's those highlights when they talk about Marcus Mariota making plays to get us back into games? Where are those plays where we see Drake London damn near pick a ball off his shoelaces? How about those 2-yard runs where Tyler Algier is 3rd and 2? He breaks 4 tackles to get 2 yards. Where are those plays? Where are those plays when Grady Jarrett is damn near getting triple team and he finds a way to get away from the triple team and hit a quarterback? What about those plays where Grady Jarrett is the only one, he recognizes a play and he runs from his position in the middle of the field to the sideline to make a play on the ball carrier? Where are those plays, people? It's a fucking problem. It's a major, major problem. We focus so much on negativity. We focus so much on what's going wrong. Why? Because everything that goes wrong is much more attractive. Everybody want to talk about how bad Kanye is and how bad Kyrie is and how bad this person is. But when these people end up doing something good, y'all don't want to hear shit about it. Oh yeah, he's just doing that for publicity. Yeah, Marcus Mariota, yeah, he did bring the guys back, but he sucks anyway. Yeah, now talk about the shit that goes wrong, and that's the fucking problem that I have. When it come down to Arthur Smith, come down to Arthur Smith, that's a fucking problem, people. And excuse my language, but it's a fucking problem. Focus so much on what's going wrong and what's not. How are we going to change this around? Is Arthur changing it? Is Arthur making improving guys? Again, we're talking about guys like Caleb McGarry. A lot of people said that he was going to be what? A bust. A lot of people said he was a bust. A lot of people said that OZ was pretty much, I don't even know why he got him on the team. He's just a fast guy. He's a special teams guy. And guess what? This guy ended up being one of the, if not the top receiver and receptions for this team. When everybody said he was nothing. And they said Arthur could not develop players. The dude has done nothing but develop players. Do I have to go across the board again? What does he turn CP into? A Pro Bowl player. What does he turn Tyler Algier into? This dude is on the verge of getting close to breaking the Falcons' rushing rookie record. Can he do it? Quite possibly. He can quite possibly do it. Caleb Huntley. The dude has gotten cut, 4 or 5 times? The dude has gotten cut 4 or 5 times. And he finally get his opportunity to play, and guess what? Yeah, he's one of the most vital parts of this rushing attack. So that's 2 players, 3 players. Did I have to bring up Parker Hesse? He has no business on anybody's damn roster. But somehow he found a way to come here and be one of the most, vital pass protectors. That's tight ends. Can he catch? Probably not. Chuma Odoga, a guy that actually came in, played well at left guard when he had his opportunity, played absolutely great. Somehow he got something out of Felipe Franks to be a tight end. No, he can't catch worth for shit, but guess what? He's one of the better blockers at tight end that we have on the team. Again, these are the things that we're talking about. Defensively, Taquan Graham. Do I have to mention what he's done when he's there? Lorenzo Carter. Arnold Ebiketie. I could go on and on and on of all the good things that have happened to this team. But guess what? Nobody wants to focus on that type of stuff. Everybody wants to talk about the negative and the headlines. Boy, you really ain't got no friends. Marco Cash really ain't got no friends. Good God Almighty. It's okay. It's okay, little pumpkin. It's okay, pumpkin. We'll give you a hug over here. Falcons fans aren't mean. Everybody give Marcos a hug. He needs a hug, okay? He don't know what a quarterback look like. Oh, how sweet. Drake London production depends on what we have. Cannot throw the ball 20 yards with any accuracy. Don't blame Drake, blame Marcus Mariota. The Dixon way. See, this is why I say y'all don't know what the fuck you talking about. Because we broke this down last night. See, it's important, okay, people, to research numbers before you open your goddamn mouth. When you open your freaking mouth, you say stupid shit like this. The blaming on our quote-unquote wingback. You end up looking like a fucking moron. Does anybody, do I have to bring this up again? Obviously I have to bring this up again. The guy that is on the verge of getting a $200-300 million contract has damn near identical numbers than Marcus Mariota. Who is that guy? Anybody want to take a wild guess of who that guy is? The guy that is about to get a $200-300 million contract has damn near identical numbers than Marcus Mariota. Anybody want to take a wild guess who that guy is? Brian Peoples. Tell. Oh, great. You see, Matty goes, you see, you guys are so damn smart. That's why I love y'all. I love y'all. A guy that's about to receive a $200 million contract have damn near identical numbers than Marcus Mariota. See, this is the reason why I say, do your homework before you open your damn mouth. And like Big Sam say, don't press send. Don't press send, people. Don't press send because you say stupid shit that you can't back up. It's based on your opinion of a guy. And your opinion of a guy is not very good. It's based on your emotions. So don't press in when you say stuff about it's not his fault. Because the guy that everybody love in Lamar Jackson, who is an MVP quarterback, has damn near identical numbers than Marcus Mariota. And has what, 2 more wins to him? Lamar Jackson has what, about 2,500 yards passing. Marcus Mariota has about 2,300 yards passing. Lamar Jackson has 17 passing touchdowns. Well, guess what? Marcus Mariota has 14 total and 8 interceptions. Lamar Jackson has 17 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Lamar Jackson has rushed for about what, 700-800 yards? Marcus Mariota has rushed for about 300-400 yards himself. So you see the problem here? It's not the production. It's not because guys aren't doing it. It's you, people. You don't look at the stats. You don't look at the facts. And you come up with these asinine statements without looking at every other quarterback in the NFL. Because a lot of these quarterbacks have damn near identical numbers than Marcus Mariota. But the thing that they have around them is better coaching, better players. Marcus Mariota is doing this without critical players offensively. We traded Calvin Ridley. Brian Edwards was an absolute bust. He did nothing for us. Kyle Pitts is now out for the season. We had a rotating left guard. We've been rotating left guards all year. Chris Dahlman, Drew Dahlman continues to act like his left hand don't work. He acts like his left hand is on his right hand, his right hand is on his left hand. Could the damn ball be going right, left, and right, up, down, sideways? Falcons don't have what Lamar has. One of the best tight ends in the game. Some of the best offensive linemen in the game. The Falcons don't have that type of stuff. Yet Marcus Mariota has almost identical numbers than Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson is what everybody loves. Lamar Jackson is what everybody trying to get here in Atlanta. Everybody wants Lamar Jackson in Atlanta, but don't realize that they already have a Lamar Jackson in Atlanta. Doing the same shit that he's doing. But nobody wants it. This is the stuff that we be talking about. The Rams are one of the highest paid, highest spending teams in the NFL, and they have a horrendous record. Yep, but let's blame everything, all the issues on Drake London's quote unquote inefficiencies on Marcus Mariota. Let's say Marcus Mariota sucks. What? So if Marcus Mariota sucks, what the fuck is Lamar Jackson issue? What the hell is his issue? Well, those quarterbacks can convert deep throws. What the? See, this is the stuff we talking about. Who the hell cares about deep throws if you can't complete a fucking 5-yard pass? What good is a home run throw, a deep pass, if you can't even complete a 5 to 10 yard pass? Are you kidding me, people? Do you hear the things that are coming out of your mouth? He has, 200 more yards than Marcus Mariota, and we're talking about, Lamar Jackson can complete deep throws. No, I love you, but come on, bro. And does not limit their offense. Again, what the fuck are you talking about? Marcus Mariota is a deep threat. It's a dual threat. He's a dual threat. What the hell do you mean limit the offense? He limits the offense because motherfucking wide receivers keep dropping passes, include Drake London, Kyle Pitts, OZ, Kadarius Hodge. Every last one of these guys have had issues dropping the pass, and we're going to say, well, Marcus Mariota limits our offense. How the hell does he limit the offense? He's one of the reasons why we're top 3 in the league in rushing. People don't hit sin. Look, my thing is not here to bash you. It's to make you think. The things and your thoughts about the game are completely flawed. It's based on your emotions and it's tailored to your likes. You like certain players. So when you look at other players that you don't like, you're going to harshly, and this is what K-Styles was talking about, you're gonna penalize Marcus Mariota for his mistakes, but when the guys that you love are putting up the same numbers, you're gonna say, well, it's everybody else's fault. It ain't Lamar's fault that he only has 2,500 yards passing. Well, Aaron Rodgers is playing like absolute ass. It's everybody else's fault. He don't have enough receivers. How the hell does this man limit the offense when he's the reason why we're top 3? We're the 3rd rushing offense in the league, and we're saying that this man limits our offense. And can use pits the proper way. Sir, again, look at other tight end numbers around the league. His Kyle Pitts numbers were damn near identical for a lot of big time tight ends, like George Kittle. His numbers were damn near identical. What are we talking about, people? I command you in the name of Jesus to read a damn stat. I command you in the name of Jesus. As I put my hand on your forehead, I command you in the name of Jesus to read a damn Google stat. It won't hurt you. In fact, it will help you. It will bless you. Okay? I promise you, you will be blessed if you read a stat of other teams besides the Atlanta Falcons. People are so infatuated with what the Falcons are doing, and so insane, like they're obsessed with what the Falcons are doing and not looking at other teams and understanding that the teams, the tight ends, have damn near the exact same numbers that Kyle Pitts do. They don't realize that other tight ends don't have to get triple and quadruple teams by the entire defense. I command you in the name of Jesus to read a damn book. I command you in the name of Jesus to follow guys that actually break down these things. And somebody just help these people out in finding the proper guys that actually break down these subtle nuances of the game. You can go and check out guys like Voss Lombardi. You can check out Brian Baldinger. He puts stuff up like this every damn day. Every game. I command you in the name of Jesus to read a damn stat and stop looking at what the Falcons aren't doing with certain players. Corey G's, what's up, man? Yes, Southside. He has a he has a 75-yard touchdown. Again, this is why I say just read a damn stat. It won't hurt you to read, people. Reading will help you. It will save your damn life. It's okay to read. Stop going to people that you love and that entertains you because they have the same ideas as you, and actually go to people and follow the people that you may not be too entertained by, but they put out informative content. So in the name of Jesus, I command you to go read a stat. In fact, we will help you read stats. If you can't read, we'll do a special Hooked on Phonics show just for you. We will do a special Hooked on Phonics for those who can't read. We'll read the stats for you if you want us to. It's okay to be ignorant because your boy Mad Mike is not the smartest guy. But guess what? I ain't willing to fucking learn. And just as you gotta know I have a little bit of the thing called ADHD, so my attention span is a little fucked up. Yeah, I have this ADHD problem. I have a major problem, so that's why right now I'm walking and talking. Yeah, I have a real issue with sitting down and being still. And reading is not the best way for me. Most of the time, guess what? Your boy man might have to use this thing called audiobooks. It's been the greatest thing in the universe for me. It's been the greatest thing in the universe for me. Audiobooks have saved my life and made me even smarter than what I am now. Audiobooks. They have this thing called audiobooks. So if you don't want to read and you can't read, we will help you. So again, this is what we were talking about. There's so much negativity when it comes down to this team. Everybody want to focus on what's going wrong, what didn't happen, and all this type of stuff. But nobody want to focus on the things that are going well. The Falcons' offensive line has drastically improved. They have a ways to go. I think we all know that. Are they a finished product? Absolutely not. The Falcons are only going to get better. They're going to get even more consistent. Why? Because these guys are going to have that $80 million next year. More of that $80 million next year that they can use to bring in better players. Better wide receivers, better offensive linemen, better wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, defensive linemen, linebackers, DBs. The Falcons are going to have an opportunity. They're going to have an opportunity, to get those guys, to bring them in and help them win. So again, get your head out your ass. If you can't read, we'll help you read. You can find us on, again, Mad Mike Sports on Twitter, IG. You can find me on Facebook. The same thing, Mad Mike Sports, Atlanta Falcons Nation. You can find us and we will help you with everything that you need. We have a Discord where we can teach you a lot of the games. And not just me, we have several people that can give you knowledge on how to break down film. We got guys like Rip Cliff, we got Noah Tyndale, we got Tel, we got Atlanta Nation. We got so many people in there. Javen. We have so many people in that. Trey. All those guys in the Discord. We are here to help. Yeah, we might call you a dumb motherfucker, but guess what? We still willing to teach you, okay? You don't have to remain ignorant. Let's learn the game together. Damn. So Xavier, what's good, man? How you doing? Xavier, what you going on, man? So again, this is the reason why I had to, because we got guys like D-Led. They're only, look, we gotta understand what the and this is where I've said time and time again, this is what separates Atlanta Falcons Nation, the Unholy Alliance, from everyone else. We don't give a fuck about trying to make you read or watch our show. Okay? I'll explain that. We don't give a fuck about what making people watch our show. I don't give no damns about that. Our job is to put out the proper information and to deliver what you guys want. If you want it, we will give it to you. And if you don't want it, we will still give it to you. Our job is not to make you like us, it's to educate. Because guys like D-Led is going to write articles that are going to clickbait the living hell out of you and tell you exactly what you want to hear. Even when you want to hear it It's some bullshit. The stuff that you want to hear. Some people want to have quarterbacks. Some people want to talk about quarterbacks in the draft all year long. And we got some retards on Twitter. That's all they do. They think they real experts, but all they do is talk about scouting and quarterbacks, and this quarterback is coming out every year. Them fucking morons, that's all they do. They don't know a damn thing about football, but they look at technique, and they look at this guy can run a 4.5, and this guy could be in a perfect scheme, but they don't know shit about the game in its entirety. They don't know the history. They don't know who the hell Jamal Anderson is. They don't know who a lot of people are. Bobby Christian. They don't know anything about them. But guess what? They can tell you how Bryce Stroud, how CJ Young, those guys are doing. They can tell you how they look and how they will be able to. I will want to see them with the Falcons. I want them to see with the Broncos. They can tell you about that shit, but they can't break down the actual game to you. They can't sit down and have an intellectual conversation to talk about every aspect of the game, the 3 technique. They can't tell you about 4, 5, 6. 9, the spread wide 9 like that. You can't tell you about anything like that, stuff like that. They can't tell you what it takes for a quarterback like a Marcus Mariota and why he's struggling. And why Marcus Mariota is struggling is simple. I've said it a billion times already. Sometimes it's just as simple as a guy just doesn't believe that he's a great thrower. And when you don't believe that you're a great thrower, guess what? It's going to show in your game, in your day-to-day game, from game-to-game basis. Because you see games where Marcus Mariota has tremendous, he's throwing the ball well. And then there's games like the Panthers game where he can't even complete a damn pass. Why? There are several reasons why things happen when we come down for quarterback. But these guys on Twitter that you absolutely love, and you should follow these guys. Why? Because they do the thing that you like. But when we come down to it, like I said before, our thing is to educate people properly. Not to make you like us. We're here to give the facts, the stats, and the truth. D-Led, Michael Rothstein, all these these guys, these reporters and journalists, their job is to make you click. Our job here at Atlanta Falcons Nation is to make you think. That's it. To make you think. So if anybody have any questions, I'll get to the questions. Again, they want Bubba, they want Bryce Stroud, but can't give you an actual reason and a reason why he's the answer. Hey, Southside, bro, if that ain't the truth, believe it or not, football and coaching is much harder than Twitter and Instagram make it seem. Of course. Yeah, I've been there. Hey, I come from a family that are coaches, that are refs, that are players. There's nothing easy about coaching. Because one, you got to deal with different personalities. Some guys may not react to certain tactics. Like me, I'm more of a vocal guy. I'm more of a vocal guy. I'll tell you, all right, this is what needs to happen. And if I don't start to see it, yeah, you're going to get cussed the fuck out. That's just how I am. Some guys don't like to be cursed out. Some people thrive when they get cursed out. I'm the type of person, I thrive when I get cursed out. When people tell me I ain't shit, I thrive in that. I thrive when my back's against the wall and I'm the smallest or the underdog. I thrive in those situations. Other people like to be handed everything. They respond to positive words, affirmations. I don't give a fuck about no positive affirmation. I am my own positive affirmation. Some people think I'm a little bit egotistical. I'm damn sure I am. I have a humongous ego. I'm arrogant as fuck. But I thrive. And people telling me what I can't do. So coaching is that. Sometimes you got players like Odell Beckham, you got to tell him how sexy he is and how cute he is and how fast he is and how good you are. And you got to babysit him. You got to rub baby oil on him. Probably went too far with that. But you kind of get the you kind of get the picture. You get the picture. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with retards like Antonio Brown. You feel me? You got to deal with those types of people all the time. So this, like I said, that's the issue that I have. Is that most people think it's all about, you know, you get the right player, everything is gonna go well. If we just bring in Brett Favre, you know what I'm saying, in his heyday. If we bring in Aaron Rodgers in his heyday, the Falcons would be a much better team. Well, Denver having that same issue. They paid a guy $250 million, and guess what? It didn't solve a damn thing. Yeah. Paying a guy $250 million didn't solve a damn thing. They steal the damn Denver Broncos. I'm just saying. Y'all know that boy Odell's a diva. Raymond, appreciate it, bro. You're right with that point. With the issue, man. Most fans aren't being taught about football structure of a team. I like the way we're headed. Keep telling it, and that's what we're talking about. It's about teaching people the proper way, man. Teaching people the game. That's why you see a lot of us, especially over here. I was called a hypocrite. Why? Because I was telling people that, you know, Marcus Mariota sucks at this and this and that. And it's like, why are you backing a guy you say that sucks? Why aren't you bashing him? Why aren't you doing this? Because the game is deeper than Marcus Mariota. A lot of the issues is communication and lack of chemistry. A lot of that begins up front. You got a guy like Drew Dahlman who can't snap a damn ball straight to save his fucking life. I think the motherfucker got Tourette's or damn what you call it? The shit that yeah, he got Tourette's or damn something. The way he be damn snapping the goddamn ball, the ball be going all over the damn place. Can't snap the ball for it to save it damn life. And that's, like I said, that's the problem that I have. That's the problem that I have when it comes down to this, to a lot of fans. It's not being a hypocrite. If you want to say a hypocrite, yeah, I'll be a hypocrite. Absolutely. I mean, I was a hypocrite for, you know, the same thing for Matt Ryan. I was called a Ryanite. Why? Because I was telling you, most of the things that Matt Ryan was doing, he was doing them elite. He was elite at everything. He was elite at the fundamentals. He was elite thrower. He was just an elite quarterback. And you're seeing that right now. Matt Ryan still putting up numbers, but guess what? He still has those same issues. No one player can disregard the fact that his team isn't fundamentally sound, no matter how good you are, no matter how much money you make. We're seeing it. Kyler Murray is blaming everybody except for his damn self. He throwing interceptions, but he trying to tell me that the damn concepts, that the coaching concepts suck. Ain't nobody tell you to throw the shit. Nobody tell your little ass to throw the damn ball. You could have ran it with your liberty ass legs for a first down instead of throwing it. But you want to blame it all on the damn coach. That's the stuff we be talking about when we come down to these quarterbacks. And you got that old supermodel ass damn quarterback in New York who want to blame everybody. It ain't never his fault. And Zach Wilson, with his blonde hair, blue-eyed ass, ain't never his fault. That's why his ass got benched, because it's never his fault. At some point, you got to look at the it's all about the entirety of, the complete story. Marcus Mariota's struggles is not solely on Marcus Mariota. We have issues up front. We have issues with the chemistry with the wide receiver tight end core. That's why you don't see a lot of things going the way that we saw under Matt Ryan. Because essentially Matt Ryan, guess what? Matt Ryan, everybody looking at Kyle Pitts and said, well, Marcus Mariota sucks. Well, Marcus Mariota will never be mentally as good as Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is special. This is why we said time and time again, you guys better enjoy Matt Ryan while you get it. I talked about it last night. There's never been an era of football where we had 6 elite quarterbacks in 4 years, in 14, 15 years. There's never been an era in football where we had this many elite quarterbacks in this time. It's never been that. In from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, you had maybe 3 to 4 guys that ran the league during that time. Everybody else was mediocre. We're going right back to what football was. This is a special time. This was a great time and a special time in football history to have so many elite quarterbacks. That has never happened. And I'm talking about all the guys like a Phillip Rivers, some Drew Brees, the Matt Ryan, Tom Brady. I could go on and on and on. Aaron Rodgers. There's never been an era where we had this many quarterbacks this elite for this long. It has never happened in the NFL. In the 90s, everybody knew it was Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Joe Montana. You can throw a couple of other guys in there, but that's about it. From each era of football, you had maybe 3 to 4 guys in a league, and that was for 10 years or less. That has never been an era of football like this. So you better enjoy the greatness of these quarterbacks while it lasts, because shit is about to get real. It's about to get real, people. So again, if you guys got questions, this is the time. Sonya, how you doing, sweetheart? Getting sexy pics in the draft doesn't mean it's going to help you, and that's it's crazy that you say that, because this is the thing that we've been talking about. Last night, K Styles and we were talking about that last night, Jew, on the heavy hitters. So if you guys haven't seen that episode, go back and check out the heavy hitters. But this is the thing that we were talking about even then. If you don't have a consistent idea or a picture of a scheme of what you want to be, you got to commit to that. Under Falcons, Thomas Dimitroff, and Dan Quinn, every year we were changing something about the offense. We were changing something about the defense. We were never just this. We was going through different offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. This GM was leaving, this assistant GM was leaving, that guy was leaving. Had too much turnover on the offensive side, defensive side, and in the front office. Why? Because we could not commit to what we are. You never hear these issues with the Steelers because the Steelers know exactly who they are. You never see them changing offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, and this guy leaving in the front office. And you never hear that because they know who the fuck they are. They know who they are. So in order for you as an organization to hit home runs on these picks, you got to commit to a scheme. If you're going to run the damn ball, commit to running the damn ball. If you want tough, physical offensive linemen, then draft physical, tough offensive linemen. You got to commit to a scheme. The Falcons under Mike Smith, we didn't know if we wanted to be a 4-3 or a 3-4. We kept firing this defensive coordinator and bringing this guy in to switch this up and do this and do that. But you have to make a decision on what you want to be. Right now, this Falcons team knows they are a physical, tough team, and they're going to run the damn ball. And that's why you have guys like Caleb McGarry, Tyler Algier that are shining because they have committed to what they are going to be. That's why this defense is playing so much more consistent than they've had in years. Because they've committed to the fact that they are going to be a 3-4 multi-faceted team. That's what they're going to do. That's what the Falcons are going to be. But you have to make a decision to be that. And once you make that decision, why do you think every year that Kyle Shanahan is coaching, he's always top 5 in rushing? Why he always seemed to bring out some running backs you ain't never heard of, offensive linemen you ain't never heard of, and turn these guys into very good players? It's because he's made a decision on who he is. Once you make a decision on who you are, you can continue to build on that and make that particular aspect of the game better. And once that becomes elite, everything else follows. That's the problem with the Atlanta Falcons. You have to make a decision on what you want. So it doesn't matter. You may get lucky and have a generational player like a Julio Jones and come, and you draft him out of the, you get him out of the draft. But even that generational player is not going to make a difference. Why? Because you still haven't committed to what you want to be. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones have damn near every quarterback and wide receiver record there is. But guess what? They don't have championships because guess what? Everything else with that team wasn't right. The offensive line, the running backs, the front office, the defense. Everything else has to follow. So it don't matter how many draft picks you get. It doesn't mean it's going to help you. For what I know about Will Compton, I don't know. I have no clue. For what I understand, they working on some small details of his contract, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening right now. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Damn DBIC. Franchise quarterback don't grow on trees, and that's essentially what we be talking about. Everybody want these generational quarterbacks, but they don't realize this was a special time in football history. They've talked about this so many times. There's never been an era of football where we've had this many elite quarterbacks, elite to great quarterbacks. There's never been an era like this, ever, in football history. So now that those guys are retired and retiring, we're starting to see what real football is about. Now most of the teams in the NFL, these guys are running the damn ball. Most of the teams that you see right now, currently in the NFL, are running the damn ball. They have a strong run game, and it's going to continue to get back there. So you got to get used to seeing ugly football, people. Games like the Washington and Falcons, this is where football is going. All these big time numbers and guys having 150 catches and 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. This shit is going. All that's going out the window. So I hate to tell you, fantasy football guys, but this is about the league. So I would stop playing fantasy football if I were you for money. Ugly football is on the way back, because you understand that these quarterbacks that are coming out of college, and this is one of the main reasons why I hate RPO, you're not teaching these guys how to properly be a quarterback. These guys are not Tom Brady. These guys are not Matt Ryan. These guys are not Drew Brees. Tua is not a Drew Brees. They're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to get a Patrick Mahomes every year. There are more first-round busts at quarterbacks in the first round that I've ever seen in my life. Most of these quarterbacks that have been drafted in the fourth round have been complete busts. Why do people assume that Ritter is our guy? Because he is. I mean, why do you assume he's not? That's my thing. Why would you say he isn't? Why the hell would you draft a guy if he's not your guy? Why wouldn't he be? We gonna draft him to sit on the bench? In the third round, we could have just drafted a defensive player if we're going to do that. If Marcus Mariota was our guy, why the hell we just didn't draft a guy? We could have just took Lance, we could have took Fields, but we didn't do that. We drafted Desmond Ritter. If Marcus Mariota was our guy, don't you think he would have about a 5-year contract and not a 2-year deal? Why wouldn't he be our guy? That's the question I have. Why do people assume that Desmond Ritter is it? Why? Because we aren't playing him? Bro, don't get me started on no Tua. That man got 50 damn wide receivers on that damn thing. He's a check down artist. All right, don't get me started on him. Because he's not playing. Because if anybody, I have to say this again, Brett Favre didn't play his first couple of years. Well, he played his first year, was complete ass, and then he got benched. And he was absolute ass. He was on the verge of becoming a bust. Aaron Rodgers didn't play for 3 years. Does that mean he's not our guy? Did that mean that, because they didn't play Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, that he wasn't Green Bay's guy? Absolutely not. Steve Young, he had to learn how to be a quarterback. He was an absolute bust in his first couple of years, 3 years or so. He went to San Francisco and became a Hall of Famer. Tom Brady was a backup his first year. He didn't even get an automatic start. Tom Brady was even a backup. But the injury would force him into the lineup. Most of the quarterbacks that you've seen, Drew Brees, again, hurt. He got off to a slow start. He was on the verge of being a bust. And then he magically found Sean Payton, and the rest is history. Most of the quarterbacks that you see weren't amazing right off the bat. So again, why would you say that Desmond Ridder, because he's not playing, he's not our guy? Why would you say that? I don't get that. Yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out what's the issue and why people think that Desmond Ridder isn't our guy. Why? Because he's not playing. And I just gave you a laundry list. Even Joe Montana, who's regarded as the greatest quarterback of all time, he didn't even get an immediate start for 2 to 3 years. I could keep going on. And Warren Moon, I think Warren Moon played in the XFL. He went in the XFL, came to the NFL, and lit that bitch on fire. But they didn't really, like I said, there's so many players that got starts elsewhere and they didn't perform well. It's a lot of quarterbacks that have, got off to slow starts, but they end up getting it and become Hall of Famers. Most of the quarterbacks that you really look at today have gotten off to a slow start. And like I said, most people say that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. Tom Brady wasn't even a starter. He wasn't even named a starter. The only reason why he even started and got playing time is because Drew Bledsoe got hurt. If Drew Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, you never hear the Tom Brady story. With this team structure, I could see us drafting defense, trench players in third. In your opinion, where do you see us going based off the roster we have now? Well, I think the Falcons have to shore up their offensive line. So, in my opinion, depending on what happens to Caleb McGarry, as well as that left guard position, in the first round, me personally, I would go with another tight end. And I know this is going to sound so crazy for a lot of people, but I'm going first round tight end. I'm going first round tight end because I believe with the money that we have and the players that we have on the defensive line, Arnold Ebiketie is poised to be an absolute star. We got a star, okay? That kid is a fucking star. So I already know that he's going to be the guy for the Atlanta Falcons for years to come. Arnold Ebiketie is that dude. So get ready to see him and see big time numbers from him. If he can stay healthy, Arnold Ebiketie is going to be that fucking dude. So I have no issue there on the defensive line. I think you can go out, get a couple of veteran guys that could come in, be a backup, and play opposite him. You can obviously draft guys in the second, third, fourth round to kind of be, that give us a little bit more depth as far as that position is concerned. So he can stay clean, stay healthy. He and Grady can stay clean and stay healthy. But I think you got to go tight end to help Kyle Pitts and Drake London out, because the way our offense is designed, we really need tight ends that can catch the ball out Because one thing that I see what defenses are doing to us is that they load the box, and a lot of those guys are not in fear of the tight ends outside of Kyle Pitts. So these guys are doubling, they tripling guys, and if you look at what even what the Chiefs are doing right now, they have Noah. I forget his name, but I think it's Noah Fant. That's opposite of Travis Kelce. He's a tight end that can catch the ball, and if you're not paying attention to him, he'll have 100-yard receiving on you. So if the Falcons end up getting a guy like Big O, Darnell Washington, I'm not even gonna get my hopes up for Brock. So that's not just going that's not gonna happen. I'm not getting my hopes up for him. But if you go get a guy like Darnell Washington, there's a lot of tight ends that are coming out of college right now that I absolutely love. But if you get a Darnell Washington with his size, his speed, his ability to run after the catch, and his physicality, he's a great blocker. I think you can do some very good things when it comes down to this Falcons offense, and using Kyle Pitts more of a guy in the slot outside as a receiver. You can take away some of that physical issues that he's had, that like him going in playing with those big old defensive tackle, defensive edge guys. I think a tight end would turn this team into a dangerous offense, getting another tight end. Secondly, on the offense, I say you got to go get a center. I'm just not. I'm willing to give Drew Dahlman a second chance after this year, because he is very good in the run game, but he's absolute ass when it comes down to consistency with the snaps. Like I don't understand why this guy is still having struggles snapping the damn ball. That's fundamental. That's the first thing that you learn when you become a damn center to begin with, and your ass still having trouble with that. So he needs to, one, the snaps. Two, he needs to get stronger, because he getting ate up in the middle of the field by these defensive tackles. So I think, one, the Falcons have to go get a tight end. Two, the Falcons got to get a center. And those guys are, and three, I think depending on what happens to Caleb McGarry, if he goes elsewhere and get a contract elsewhere, I think the Falcons have to draft a new right tackle, if that right tackle isn't Jalen Mayfield. And Jalen Mayfield's obviously had his issues with his back, and in my opinion, I think that's extremely worrisome, to be honest, because he hasn't played this year, and I'm thinking it's maybe a hernia issue with Jalen Mayfield, because it's a back issue. So hopefully it's not too bad with Jalen Mayfield. We don't have to go draft a right tackle, but a tackle is something that we may have to look to in this coming draft in the first round, depending on what happens to Caleb McGarry. Anthony Savini, what's good, man? How you doing? Dean Pease has been a DQ over his career. Do you think we could get a fresh face as the defensive coordinator next year or within the next few years? Hell no. Why would you want to replace Dean Pease? Who the fuck cares about a young, fresh face? Do we got to bring up Raheem Morris? All these young guys, just because you young don't mean you going to have a fresh, new idea. There's no such thing as new ideas. There's no such thing as fresh faces. There ain't no all that shit is a fucking myth being drawn up by ESPN. The best defensive coordinators in the game are the guys who have been defensive coordinators for years. And I'm talking about 10 plus years. Experience makes you great defensive coordinators, not new, fresh ideas. There is no such thing as new, fresh ideas in football. Okay? I hear this all the time when we say, oh, we need a fresh face. He's going to bring a new scheme. There is no such thing as a new scheme in football. There's no such thing as new formations, new schemes, none of that. There's no such thing as that. Everything that you've seen from every team is something that has been done before. There's no such thing as a young, fresh face, a new look. I don't care about all that. Because young guys, one thing I do know about young coaches, they don't know a shit about chemistry, and they don't know nothing whatsoever about on how to handle these hard situations, difficult situations. I want a guy who's been to war. I want a guy who's been there. I want a guy who knows how to get this young guy motivated. I want a defensive coordinator that knows how to get a Grady Jarrett the big time numbers and sacks. I want a guy who knows how to highlight a guy like Michael Walker, even though Michael Walker isn't a starting quarter caliber player, but you can put him in position to make interceptions and stuff like that. I want a defensive coordinator that's going to bring a guy like D. Alford out the street, put him in a slot, and turn him into a decent corner. I want a guy like Dean Pease that's going to turn a guy like A.J. Terrell into an absolute star for years to come. A young defensive coordinator can't do that type of stuff. Why? Because he's still learning how to coach. A young coach cannot do that for you. So I want a seasoned guy. I want a guy like a Dean Pease. I want a guy like a Wade Phillips. I want a guy like we was talking about him last night, Dick LeBeau. These guys have been defensive coordinators for 30, 40 years because they've been there and done that. I don't want some young Thundercat coming in here thinking he know what the fuck he talking about and he don't have a fucking clue on what he doing. So hell no. If Dean Pease wants to stay here, I'm going to let him stay here. We were just talking about team camaraderie and committing to a scheme. So if Dean Pease decides to stay here for 3 to 4 years, let him stay. Because the Falcons have to stick to a scheme, stick to a style of defense. You cannot continue to change it every 2 years because you're not getting the result, or the Falcons aren't getting the result that we expect. So hell no. Absolutely not. The Falcons have a pass rush, and you got to understand, and let me say this, the reason why Dean Pease isn't seeing a lot of his numbers as far as the sacks is concerned, or turnovers, or the big time numbers, is because we got $80 million in dead cap hit. We can bring better defensive players in if we got those $80 million. Right now, we playing with guys that have been on the street. We picking up guys like Cornell Armstrong. This guy ain't been signed by nobody. We playing with guys like Timmy Horn, and there's no disrespect to Timmy Horn because he's a young guy, but this guy was an undrafted free agent. So we got to give these guys time and players to play with. You can't say he's not getting the job done if you ain't got the right players. Most of to be honest, the reason why Andy Reid got fired in Philadelphia is because he had great players, but he couldn't bring the championship home. It had nothing to do with the fact that he couldn't win. He wasn't a good coach. He was a great coach. But he had the players, and he still couldn't get it done. That's why he got fired. Dean Pease, he doesn't have the players, but he's still getting the job done for the most part. This defense is improving. but he doesn't have the players. So how can you as an owner or a GM fire a guy like Dean Pease if you ain't giving him the right pieces to be successful? You give coaches the right pieces before you make a decision on whether or not they'll be fired. You got to give these guys the right pieces. So absolutely not. I'm letting Dean Pease stay here as long as he wants to. What's going on? Got a lot of money going next year. Are we going to get players they want to bring in? Absolutely. The Falcons are going to they're going to get the players that they want to fit this scheme. So I know a lot of people, I'm going to say this, because a lot of people are wondering if the Falcons are going to spend crazy money. Well, I don't think they're going to spend crazy money, but these guys are going to be electric in free agency. But it's going to be a ton of guys that you have no fucking clue about. They're going to be players that you have never heard of, but they fit the Falcon scheme. So you're going to see a lot of turnover as far as this roster is concerned, bringing in guys, young guys that fit their scheme. So you might see contracts where it's like 3 years, $20 million, 3 years, $10 million, 3 years, that type of stuff. 2 years, $10 million. You're going to see a lot of that. So you're going to have a lot of players that's going to come to the Falcons, but they fit what the Falcons do. So they're going to be extremely active in this in 23 in a couple of months. So yes, the Falcons are going to be extremely active in free agency, but it's not going to be those big, huge names that everybody expect. The Falcons are going to build superstars in the drafts. They're not going to go out and sign, guys that'll put up 15 sacks for another team and you give them $100 million. They're not doing that. Those big contracts are going to go to the players that they've already built. But yes, they are going to be extremely active in this coming draft. Not draft, but you think they're going to get rid of Caleb McGarry next year, keep him in play? Honestly, I think Caleb McGarry has played well enough to get a new contract. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they decide to franchise tag him. I would not be surprised if the Falcons decide to franchise tag Caleb McGarry just so they can negotiate a contract with him, because he's been a pleasant surprise. He deserves a new contract. He's been absolutely good, great for the Falcons. I think he wants to stay here. You can also say that maybe he wants to go back to the West Coast, being that he is a country guy and, he likes to hunt, and maybe he wants to be near his family. So he might go to a team like San Francisco, Seattle, play with those guys. So you can kind of keep an eye on that, but maybe he wants to stay with the Atlanta Falcons. Don't know what he's thinking, but depending on what he wants to do, I think the Falcons will more than likely sign Caleb McGarry. And that's why I say, depending on what happens to Jalen Mayfield, he could be the guy that's going to replace Caleb McGarry on that right side. So we do have a guy that's there, that's already on the team that could kind of, fill in if Caleb leaves. But I think for the most part, depending on if Caleb wants to stay on the East Coast, because he's a West Coast guy, he's a country guy, maybe he wants to just be closer to his family. That's always the case with players. But like I said, I think he deserves a new contract. But at this end, it's really up to Caleb McGarry and what he wants to do. But I think he deserves a new contract. Franchise A6. Ritter will be ready next year. He's learning from Marcus what not to do. Ritter is a smart guy. Do you think Ritter will start next year also? I don't know. Ritter's progressions is all up to Ritter. It depends on how fast he gets it. Right? So if I'm gonna just be honest, Ritter was never supposed to start this year. I don't know how many times we've said this. He was never going to start this year. Unless Marcus Mariota gets hurt, you will not see Desmond Ritter. Okay? Not going to happen. But with all that said, depending on if and how fast Desmond Ritter has picked up the offense, I think he will be the starter next year. I think, just based on everything that I've seen, and how they've kind of they've been reporting that he's been picking up things, and they've had some packages here and there as far as the his progression is concerned as a quarterback. He's picking up things fast, so you could see Desmond Ritter starting next year. And I'll say, if I put a percentage on it, I'll say about 65%. I think Desmond Ritter would be the starter for the Atlanta Falcons next year. Because I think, one, the Falcons are going to lean on the running game, and they're going to go in the draft and free agency and just pick a load of defensive talent. So if he seems to have some type of struggle, the Falcons can lean on the running game. They can lean on the defense to help win games. So even if he does have struggles at a quarterback next year as the starter, the Falcons have enough defensive players and running game and offensive linemen and trench guys that could be able to help them win games. Much like a Pittsburgh Steelers, the 49ers. You look at Seattle, they have that kind of pedigree also. A young Buffalo Bills, they kind of have that same structure. So even if they quarterback struggles, they can lean on their defense and their running game to kind of take over. So at the end of the day, yes, I'm about 65% sure that Desmond Ritter will be the starter. But there's always a chance that Marcus Mariota, depending on how we do things, how we perform, if we get to the playoffs, Marcus Mariota may play out of his mind. We end up getting to the playoffs. Marcus Mariota plays out of his mind. I can see the Falcons, allowing him to sit another year. And I know this is not making people happy, me saying this, but if Marcus Mariota plays well going into the into the playoffs, if the Falcons end up winning the division, going to the playoffs, and he make a little bit of run, I can see the Falcons sitting Desmond Ritter for one more year. But for the most part, I think about 65% Desmond Ritter will be that guy going into next year, because I think the Falcons are going to go absolutely insane, bring in a bunch of defensive guys. I really believe that. I think they're going to go crazy bringing in a bunch of defensive guys and a bunch of trench guys on both sides of the ball. How I feel about Isaiah? I haven't started. I do know Andre Carter. I do know he's a playmaker. I don't know if he fits the scheme yet. Me personally, I know. Like, my thing is, you got to understand what Dean Pease likes. So even if he's a good player in college, he may not fit the scheme for the Falcons. So I don't know if he fits the scheme. I got to watch it. For the most part, Dean Pease like guys who run downhill. That's what he likes. He likes guys that's gonna run downhill. And run downhill, they tackle well, they have good hands. Those are the types of players that Dean Pease like. So I got to look at Carter. He doesn't like guys that's shifty, that are hesitant. He like guys that play downhill, they play fast, and they think fast. You can't be one of those DBs that hesitates playing in his style of defense. And we seeing that from Darren Hall. He hesitates like hell. And now we're seeing exactly that. He's struggling because he hesitates. He thinks too much. You can't think playing in the defense. So I gotta check that out. See how fast he plays. See if he's a downhill DB. Because all that ball skills. Look, ball skills in college is all cute and all. But when you get in the NFL, man, that's a whole different story. I don't care about college ball skills. Because a lot of time that shit doesn't translate. So, I like what I see, but I want to look at this, the small details. Tackling well, tackling form, how quickly, how fast he diagnoses a play, and he gets there fast. Those are the things that matters in Dean Pease defense. He wants guys that diagnose the play fast, can read it, and fundamentally sound. And that's why you got guys like Troy Anderson. Troy Anderson is a guy that diagnoses it, he gets to it, he sees it, he runs downhill fast. Those are the types of players that he likes on the defense side of the ball. So I got to look more into it. Nolan Smith, I like Nolan, but he may be a little bit small playing in this type of defense. I'm not exactly sure. I do like him. I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no to Nolan because he is a playmaker, but he may be a little. Like I said, it depends on what. Dean like guys that are about 6'4", 6'5", from 6'4" to 6'7", and these guys are about 250 and 260 pounds. Those are the types of outside linebackers that he like. But yeah, like I said, it's more so downhill. Like there's no wasted movement. It's like I always tell people when you looking at defensive players for the Atlanta Falcons, don't waste your time on guys that are like super shifty on the defense side of the ball. They use a lot of spins and all that type of shit. Like you might as well kill that with the Falcons. That's not what Dean Pease want. He want guys that get down, they see the play, and they get downhill fast. That's on the Ebiketie. There's no wasted movement in their game. Guys like Von Miller, Dwight Freeney, all those types of guys, that's all cool and all. They use a lot of spins, but Dean Pease want guys that's going to get downhill fast. I forget the guy who played for Buffalo, for the Ravens. Dang, what's his name? Small guy. I think he was like, he's on the tip of my tongue. But he was a small guy during Dean Pease' reign with the Ravens. And he was a guy that had a lot of, he was small, but he played fast and he got downhill quick. Those are the types of guys. I'll think of his name. He played for the Broncos too. But he's the guy that got downhill fast and quick, and there was not a lot of wasted movement. No wasted movement with Dean Pease. He does not like all that shifty stuff. The same thing for Arthur. Don't waste your time with guys that they shifty. They like to juke. A lot of players. Let's just say guys like I'll say guys on the offensive side of the ball, like Devontae Freeman, those guys are always juking and going side to side and hesitant. Like, that's not what Dean Pease like. You have to have downhill, think fast, get there quick, no reaction. Those are the types of players that he like. So again, man, I know this has been a long live. I haven't done one of these in a minute, but again, tonight we're gonna have the heavy hitters. And do me a favor, real quick, people. As far as head over to GSN Mad Mike Sports. Hit the subscribe there, and leave a comment saying that you subscribe. I'm still waiting on, my channel was hacked. It was hacked. YouTube is going through this whole process. So I still have to wait on the process, and it could be up to 30 days, and it's nearly 30 days, a month. So I'll see what happens as far as that concerned, as far as my main channel is concerned. But head over to GSN Mad Mike Sports. You will not miss it. They're gonna still have the same takes, the same lives on there. That's where I've been, as well as Mad Mike's Atlanta Falcons Nation, Mad Mike Sports, GSN, Mad Mike Sports, and Atlanta Falcons Nation. Please subscribe to these channels. With that being said, man, I appreciate everybody for joining me. Like I said, I'm gonna continue to do more live like this. But that's all I got to say about that. Your boy, man, Mike is out of here, man. Peace.